Jennifer from Flux. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Knit and Wear set from Alex. This is a fun kids knitting set if kids are showing an interest in knitting or asking to knit, or maybe they're have been finger knitting and want to try moving on to needles. So this is a wonderful beginner kit. Now each box of this comes with 4 skeins of yarn, each 17 yards, and 2 chunky wooden knitting needles and instructions. So you can find this in the local craft store in the kids craft area, although I've also seen it in the toy areas of Target and the craft areas of Walmart as well. Now this was not sent to me. This is something I got on my own. So I just thought it was really neat and I just really wanted to share it with all of you. Now this is recommended for ages 7 and over, and it's made by the Alex. They make a lot of craft supplies and craft kits. And also, let's flip this over because there's also, if you go to their website, alextoys.com, you can watch video instructions on how to make some of the projects in the box as well. So it looks like there's a scarf and a hat that you can make, but we're going to open this and look at everything. The other thing I really like about this kit is that it comes in a tin and it has knit stitches printed on the side and the top. It almost looks like tie-dye, and it's just a really nice box to keep everything together and put away. So if you have kids and things tend to get scattered everywhere, it does come in a really nice reusable tin that you can keep everything in. So I have my own scissors here. These scissors, as a side note, do not come with the kit. These are my own scissors. So let's open this up. Now it's wrapped in plastic, which as a side note I really like, because you can ensure that nothing is going to be missing. If something we're missing, or a lot of times in stores people like to open things up and peek at what's inside, and so when it's shrink wrapped like this you can ensure that nothing is going to be missing from your kit. So let's get this cellophane paper off. And there is a band here and we can just slide that off. It's taped to the bottom. So I'm just gonna kind of pull this off. So again, it being wrapped like this will make sure that there's nothing missing. Okay, so once you get the band off, we can take the lid off. Now it has a little window in the front too, which I think is really cool. And let's get this lid off. Okay, so like I mentioned before, there's 4 balls of yarn. Now each ball of yarn is 17 yards or 15.5 meters a piece. Okay, so you get 4 of those. And the knitting needles are wood, which is really nice because a lot of beginner knitting needle sets will have plastic needles, and these have a nice substantial feel to them. And they're fairly smooth. They have a slight bit of texture to them, especially in the tip here. They're not high-end needles. They're definitely beginner needles. And I'm noticing on this one here, there is a little bit of a catch. But that's more of an issue, I think, with crochet. But we'll see. We'll try them out and see how they do. The other thing I wanted to point out about these needles is that there's no size printed on them. And it just says chunky wooden knitting needles. So you might need a needle gauge in order to get an exact size for these. So in case you're wondering, these were the needles that came with it. I grabbed my own pair of the same size. These are 15 millimeter US 19 needles, just in case you're wondering. So these are my own needles. And the length of each one is approximately 10 inches long. So for kids and beginners, this shorter size, see how mine are pretty long? This shorter size is much easier to handle when you're holding them because the backs can bump on things when you're using them, okay? So that's the needles, US 19s. And the yarn is this like pretty neon chunky yarn. It's self-striping. It looks like pretty quick color changes. If we open one of these, we can see that it goes pretty quickly from the colors. And we're going to work up a little swatch with the needles in just a moment so we can see how the needles handle and how the yarn goes. But this yarn is pretty soft, very pretty colors. And then there's this molded tray to kind of hold everything in place. And then your tray, or your tin rather. And then you get this instruction booklet so you can see how it looks when you're holding the needles And let's move these out of the way. But there are video instructions too for your projects. But inside is full colors of the demonstration photos or illustrations, if you will. But they show you how to cast on, how to work the knit stitch, and how to cast off. So very basic, and it looks like each step is in a different color, so that's helpful. It's in, it looks like French and German, English, and Spanish, it looks like. So you can go through, and then it shows you how to fix mistakes with drop stitches, how to change colors. Now this also includes joining a new ball of yarn. So if you want to join a new ball of yarn or change colors. And then how to finish. It shows how to weave the ends in. And also how to create a pom-pom hat. So it's just a simple rectangle, and it shows assembly instructions. It shows how to add tassels or fringe to your scarf, how to make a pom-pom, and how to work this very simple scarf, again, in multiple languages, which is nice. And also the ever important care instructions. So it does say hand wash in cold water and lay flat to dry, just so you know. So this little booklet's helpful. If you need to see it in action, you can go look at the video tutorials as well for that. So that is the Alex Knit and Wear knitting kit for kids and beginners. Now I did get a comment, somebody asked me a while back if you can use this if you're an adult, and my answer is absolutely. I would totally do this as an adult. It's a really fun kit. It's bright, it's unique, and really pretty as well. So before we finish up, I'm going to just make a little cast on a few stitches just to show you this in action so you can see it. So I'm just going to do the same cast on they do in the book. And if you need to learn how to do these stitches, definitely check out my videos for those. But I'm not going to do any instruction in this. I'm just going to show it to you in action. Let's cast on, well, let's say 4 stitches. We're going to use the same long tail cast on that they show in the book. I do have a separate video for the long tail cast on if you'd like to see that as well. Now I just wanted to kind of take these needles for a spin. And they do have a little texture on them when you feel them, but so far it's not posing any problems. Sometimes when your needles have a little bit of snags, you can catch the plies of the yarn, but I'm not having any trouble. Now, as a side note, if your needles, any needles, not the needles from this kit per se, but if you ever have a little rough spot on any of your wooden needles, you can just take a fine piece of sandpaper and just kind of touch it up a little bit. But so far, so good. These needles are cruising right along. The yarn has already changed color a couple times. So for kids, that's really, really fun. So now my work, if you're a beginner, is on the pink needle with this pink ball at the end. And then when we switch hands, you can see that my right hand now holds the purple needle, or the purple handle. The ball on the end is purple, okay? So there we did a little kind of a test swatch with that, and we're already into the pink area. So you can really make a lot of fun projects with this kit, okay? And you can see it makes for a loose fabric because the needles are kind of big for this yarn. But it looks really pretty, and it's just a fun way to show kids how to knit. And this is perfect too for summer vacation when all these little hands need something to do as well. So that is the Alex Knit and Wear kit. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure and click on the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.